Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you all, children? Alhamdulillah. Hope most of you have recognized me, isn't it? Yes, I am your Farid teacher taking up social studies, and the first chapter is the world we live in. Before I start with this topic, I would like to go back to your previous class where we had learned solar system. When I say solar system, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? It is sun, and then the earth, and then the rest of the planets, isn't it? Okay. What is sun we had learned? We had learned sun as a star, and we also had learned that it is a huge ball of fire from where we get heat and light. But today I am going a little bit deeper into sun. You know, children, it seems millions of years ago the sun threw out the masses. The sun threw out these masses, and because of the gravitational pull from the sun, these masses were not able to escape. And then what happened is these masses started to revolve around the sun. They started to revolve around the sun, and then they started cooling. When these masses were cooled, the 8 planets were formed, and our Earth is one of these 8 planets. As you all know that Earth is one of the 8 planets in solar system. Okay, I had said about the gravitational pull, isn't it? I said that because of the gravitational pull, these masses could not escape. Now, what is gravitational pull? Gravitational pull is a force. It is a force that pulls all the things or everything towards it. Okay, gravitational force is a pull or a force that attracts or pulls all the things towards it. I would like to show you a small video clip, a short video clip based on the formation of Earth.
So this is how Earth was formed. That is, Earth cooled from the burning stage, and while cooling, the steam given off from the Earth formed clouds. And it started raining for thousands of years. Thus, water got collected in few areas of Earth's crust, and the oceans were formed. And the remaining land masses called continents were formed. See, children, Earth is just a very small part of the universe, but for us it is very big. We cannot see just beyond our neighborhood. I can say we cannot see the whole Earth at a time. In order to see whole Earth at a time, we have model of Earth or sketch of Earth. Okay, as you had learnt in your previous class that globe is a spherical model of Earth, whereas map is a flat representation of Earth. These Two things, globe and maps, are used to see the whole earth at a time. Okay? But we can't start marking or locating places on map or globe just like that. But we have to study few basic things about them. Here on the globe you can see few lines, isn't it? These are called imaginary lines which help us to find places. One such line which divides the earth into two hemispheres is called equator. The line which divides the earth into two hemispheres is called equator. They are northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere.
The lines which are parallel to equator are called as latitudes. Okay, so the middle line over here is called as equator, as I had said you, and the lines which are parallel to equator are called as latitudes. But then equator is also a latitude. Don't forget this, equator is also a latitude. And then we have few more important latitudes. They are, first of all, as I said you, it is equator. The first one is equator, and then we have the line just above the equator, that is called as Tropic of Cancer. The line which is just above the equator is called as Tropic of Cancer, and then the line which is just below the equator is called as Tropic of Capricorn. Okay, and then we have these two lines. Here I have shown it in semicircle, but the last line in the latitude is called as Arctic Circle. It forms a circle at the end on the earth or on the globe. Okay, this part of the globe, here it forms a circle, isn't it? So this circle, the last circle of latitude or the last line of the latitude is called as Arctic Circle, that is on the North Pole. Okay, and then we have one more line here, one more latitude on the South Pole, this part. Here we have a line or a latitude that is called as Antarctic Circle. The last line on the South Pole is called as Antarctic Circle. Is that clear? This was all about latitudes. Now we have few more lines. Okay, but here the lines are drawn from North Pole to South Pole, and these lines are called as longitudes. These are called as longitudes, and the central line here is called as prime meridian. As we had central line here which is called as equator, in the same way we also have a line which runs from North Pole to South Pole, a central line that is called as prime meridian. And one more thing I would like to tell is, latitudes do not meet at any point. They do not meet at any point. But here longitudes, they meet here in the North Pole and the South Pole. In latitudes they are parallel to each other, but here they are not parallel to each other. They meet at a certain point on these two poles. Okay?
Let me have a small conclusion on latitudes and longitudes. Latitudes are drawn from east to west. Longitudes are drawn from north to south. The latitude which divides Earth in two hemispheres is called equator. The central longitude, or the longitude which is in the center, is called prime meridian. We just learned that when Earth cooled, continents and oceans were formed, isn't it? So now what are continents? Continents are the huge land masses. The huge land masses are called continents. We have 7 continents. They are Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, and Australia. These are the 7 continents, and I have listed all these based on their size. So Asia is the biggest continent, and then the size goes on decreasing, and where we have Australia as a smallest continent. And then I spoke about oceans, isn't it? What are oceans? Oceans are the vast water bodies which are all joined together. We cannot differentiate between the oceans. Okay? We have Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Antarctic Ocean, Arctic Ocean. These are the 5 oceans we have. Even these I have listed from biggest to the smallest in size. So the Pacific Ocean is the biggest ocean, where Arctic Ocean is the smallest ocean.
So children, let us recapitulate whatever we have learnt in today's class. First of all, we learned formation of earth. Formation of earth in the sense, that's what we had learnt. The sun threw the masses, and then the masses cooled, and then the earth was formed. And then gravitational force. I had said you what is gravitational force. And then we learnt about globe and map, or the difference between globe and map. And then longitudes. We learnt about longitudes. The line which runs from North Pole to South Pole is called longitude, and then the center line which moves from North Pole to South Pole is called prime meridian. Okay, and next we learnt latitude. Latitude are the lines which run from east to west. Okay, so the center line which runs from east to west is called equator. And then we have Tropic of Capricorn, and then Tropic of Cancer. And also we have Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle. And then we learnt about hemispheres. What are hemispheres? Hemispheres in the sense, I had said you, isn't it? Equator divides the earth into 2 hemispheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Last, we learnt about continents and oceans. How the continents were formed, that also I have said, and also I have said how the oceans were formed. So that's all for today. But before concluding the class, I would like to ask you one question, that is, what would happen, or was it possible to locate the places when there were no latitudes or longitudes? And if it was not possible, what were the disadvantages coming in this situation when there were no longitudes or latitudes? Okay, so I'll wind up my class. Jazakumullahu khaira. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.